Go into the silence. When there is silence, the heart becomes still. And when the heart becomes still, you can hear the voice of God. To go into the silence of nature is an experience which brings us closer to our essence, because we are so filled with the noise of the world, with the noise that happens in our relationships, with the noise that happens in our activities, with the entangling relationships that bring us a little turbulence in the heart. To go into the silence of nature was something that all spiritual people knew. They would go into the desert, like here, and become desert fathers. They received, while they lived here, directions, missions, and visions that gave them strength. These directions they shared with the world, and the world stood still in awe. To go into the silence was done by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. I was just viewing a few of their caves in Vrindavan, where they would go underground to just have the most silent conditions in their bhajan, because they knew when the world becomes silent, God begins to speak. To go into the silence was something that all traditional spiritualists took up as a means of renewal, of a means of new inspiration. Often, the essential things in life have to do with silence. You can't hear your breath most of the time. You can't hear what love in your heart says. It's not something loud. You can't hear the soul very often. All the important things, breath, the inspirations in the heart, the soul, they are more silent things. They are things which are not visible, things which are not expressed in the noisy proclamations of the world, in the noisy advertisements and so on. A very simple way to access the treasures of silence is to make a nature walk. Don't forget your cushion. Sit down and just pray, and then listen for the answers. Your heart and your soul knows much more than their intellect and the brain will ever know. So to create situations in which your mind can become silent is something which I so much recommend to you, especially in the coming times where the outer world is most probably becoming more turbulent and the noise louder. You can also access the silence early in the morning when it is said that the Lord breathes this spiritual life and spiritual insights into those who do spiritual practice at that time. To access silence can also be done by taking a very good spiritual book like the Bhagavatam, reading and then stopping and let the echo of what you have read speak to you. Go into the silence and listen within the silence to the deeper voices and the deeper insights. I think this is the best New Year's message which can be given at this time. We will now show you a little bit around in the desert. Maybe you will find a few tracks of you know, the residents of the desert, but more than anything, listen to the silence. I wish you a wonderful, inspired, strong and empowered New Year. Hare Krishna.